Alright, y'all. Hello and welcome back. Took a little break. Happy New Year. Belated. We are, well, having some fun. We're having some fun at some tourist expense. I'm sorry. I'm sorry for these people involved, but look, it's for our entertainment and a little bit for education as well because, look, y'all know you've been asking. Yes. No announcements yet, but I do plan on traveling this year. Let's just say that. Let's take a look at some tourists. Unfortunately, I think mostly, if not all, Americans getting fined tickets, how to avoid it. Yeah, this is going to be good.
I went to Italy. When did we go? March? Was it this year?
It was this year.
Yeah, this year in March. And I had a rental car. And I drove in Venice, Rome. What was the other one? Florence. Right? And I always heard...
Geography's hard, guys.
So my husband checked the mail today, and I was like, I see it in all this like orange, and I was like, we got 1, 2, 3.
Oh shoot!
4, 5, 6, 7, and it's not really
7
like in English. Now I'm looking at it, and I'm like, what?
This is gonna be a fun video. I'm telling you, you got to strap in. You got to buckle up because you might get a ticket if you don't. I love this, right? 8 months after returning, that stings, that's for sure. But that's how these things work sometimes. I love how she's like, they're not even in English. Yeah, tickets in Italy are in Italian, I bet. I'm willing to wager a bet there. They're not in English, how dare they? But yeah, this is gonna be good. Let's hear some more.
These are tickets from Rome. I have traffic violations from Rome.
I wonder what they're for.
7 of them, to be exact. That total over $1,600.
Oh, damn!
Because it's
wow.
It's not English. It's in euros.
Oh,
so.
no.
Oh my God! Okay, this is this is content gold. I'm sorry, by the way, for all these people. I'm sorry for her. No one likes to get tickets or fines. Let's get that out of the way. Now, for the sake of the video, this is hilarious. I'm sorry. Hopefully she'll explain. This is a lot because I'm thinking like maybe you get tickets on the highway outside of the cities for speeding, or maybe like a country road, you know, where they still have cameras or something or police presence. You know, I could see that happening. But getting tickets in the city, yeah, I mean, a lot of times when I've seen traffic in Italy, it's crazy, right? I don't think you have room to speed. Like, you know, it's not even possible. So I wonder what it's for. I also am loving the fact, like, I'm sorry I laugh so hard, but it's because she's like, it's not even in English, it's in euros. I didn't know English was a currency. I guess in the U.S., we don't even use dollars or pounds or euros. We use English. Oh, I'm sorry. I had to.
If you pay within 5 days of getting the ticket, you only got to pay 100 euros. If you pay within this time, it's like whatever euros. If you pay the latest, it's 200 euros. And then they mail it to you, and it takes 6 months. So you're never going to get it until the end date. So you owe 197 euros for each one of those tickets.
Oh.
I think it's 197, something like that.
Oh.
So.
Now, is that real? Like, the reason it's 1,600 is because they haven't paid it in so long. It would have been a lot less. Is that real? Can you confirm that? Because I don't necessarily trust them right now because they couldn't remember what cities they were in barely. They were shocked that tickets from Italy were not in English. They were shocked. They were shocked that it was in euros, currency, not English again. So I don't know if I fully trust that they're understanding this correctly. If you wanna confirm or deny that and explain the difference if need be. Also, if it is true, then they do have a point that they didn't, not pay for a long time if they just received these, right? I feel like that's a little bit beyond their control. I don't know how to, there might be more to it though. I'm not exactly sure. Anyway, let's go on.
If you go
this is good already.
Italy and you're
Budget for 2
driving, make sure you
don't drive.
Don't drive, yeah.
Or just don't drive. Make sure you're prepared for the tickets that are going to come many months later.
I have said multiple times when I picture going to Europe, I want to drive. I like driving, right? Now, of course, I want to see certain cities where maybe you don't have to drive, right? That's the whole point. There's much more walkable areas and walkable cities in European countries typically. We know this, right? And I do want to take advantage of that. I also like the idea of seeing somewhere and then seeing a city, you know, maybe crossing a border into a different country, right? Because that's just like very European. That's awesome. And that's not something as an American you get to do very often. So I do want to, you know, in theory, take a car from one place to another. Maybe if it's, you know, 4 hours away or something, I want to be able to do that too. But I tell you what, no one wants to rack up fines. I feel like it's avoidable. It also is different, though. It could be more strict. You're still in a new place. You might accidentally park somewhere or speed or something because there's just so much going on that's different. I feel like at the end of the day, you just got to be careful. And I feel like every case, you know, every person's trip and their case is different. If anything, too, when I'm talking about traveling a little longer distances in cars, it's actually ironic. I think a lot of speed limits are higher in European countries, at least when it comes to, like, you know, highways and autobahns, right? But maybe the speed limits are a little tighter, a little slower in more crowded areas naturally. So yeah, you just got to be careful. Let's see what the comments say. I've always heard not to drive in Rome. I have not heard that myself, but what I know, maybe that's a thing. Do you guys agree with that? Always heard do not drive in Italy. Take the train or taxi. $1,600 in tickets is not worth it. It was so cheap to rent a car too, but we did not do it. We got car service from Naples to Amalfi. It was the best way to get around. Private car service was amazing. I'll have to look into that. That sounds pretty cool as well. Who knows? So yeah, that's just unfortunate. That's just the first video. I feel like we won't even get to all these because that was pretty long already. That was, I'm sorry, that was funny.
Fine is 80 francs. And they have no sympathy for foreigners that do not understand how to activate a ticket, i.e. me, because I was that foreigner. A no-ticket fine is
The train works on an honor system with spot checking, but girl, if you get caught, the fine is 80 francs.
80 francs. And they have no sympathy for foreigners that...
I bought the ticket but did not. Okay, this is something we've seen just a couple videos ago, I think. At least I thought we saw an example or two of this, where you have to buy the ticket, but then you have to validate it again. And if you don't validate it correctly, you can get in trouble, right? Again, that's something that could be a little bit confusing, although you got to try and research this stuff ahead of time. I will say, you know, it doesn't really say in the comments here, but I thought I saw on a different video's comments that it's really just easiest to do it on your phone with an app, right? I think all these trams and these companies, when it comes to the trains and stuff, I think they have apps, and if you do it through that, it makes it super foolproof, where it just is totally easy to do it, and you're not going to have an issue.
Me and the boys are in Prague right now, in the Czech Republic. We
nice.
had a horrible start. We got fined for having the wrong ticket for the train.
Uh-oh.
Got some guys fishing down there. Got the beautiful town.
Prague is so awesome, man.
It's really cool. Nat's over there.
I do want to go there. It looks so nice.
Yeah, love it so far, besides getting the train ticket fine. That wasn't fun.
No story.
Me and the boys are in Prague.
No story. We just they got a train ticket, or they got a fine.
Right now in the Czech Republic.
Because of the train.
We had a horrible start. We got fined for having the wrong ticket for the train.
Too vague, man. Come on, where's the story, right? I was hoping for something good there.
I'm gonna be completely honest with you. I went the wrong way on the train, and I'm trying to get to the mountains.
Thinking Switzerland travel is free? Then getting fined by police. I was trying to get to France for free. Oh my lord. Oh. Okay. That's her fault. I mean, yeah, there's some affordable things. There might be even free options for certain things in certain countries, but like, dude, literally going from Switzerland to France for free sounds wild. That sounds like a wild expectation. And, you know, Switzerland, I thought, was pretty known for being a beautiful place, but being a little bit on the pricey side. I don't think anything's free there. But,
I don't understand French. I keep going the wrong way.
so you got to translate it or something. You got to ask for help.
Wait.
Hope the phone gives you some sort of translation.
Go in this tunnel and see what's at the other end.
Oh
For
my
me,
goodness.
this is fun. I'm testing my survival skills. So far, they've let me down. I need to go to the mountains.
Yeah.
I need to find out how to get to Mont Blanc. Wait, I just left the train station. How did I do that? Huh? Maybe I'm not built for side quests. Okay. I think the fun part is figuring this all out. I low-key don't know where I'm going.
Oh my God.
Basically, Geneva. This is Wait, this is good. This is good. What my maps say. Hang on, did I just see a charger? Stop it. I love Switzerland. Girl.
Is there no one on that?
Wait, how do you open the door?
I'm a little concerned for her. I wish her the best of luck.
Are we being freaking for real right now? Look at this bus. Wait. I think I need to go on it. Wait,
She looks so lost.
Okay.
And we can laugh, but I do feel bad when people are that lost. But then again, you're trying to go places for free.
Keep the ticket until the outside.
I'm gonna be completely honest with you. I went the wrong way on the
Oh
train.
my
and I'm
God.
trying to get...
I don't understand French. Sign in 4 languages, including English. I'll be honest, she didn't show along. I didn't even notice that, but I believe it. I mean, most things are in multiple languages in a lot of these countries I've seen, you know, from footage. So yeah, like she should have looked harder. Come on. Why would you think transport is free? In Luxembourg it is. Okay, that's right. In Luxembourg, I did hear it is. Guys, I guess since Luxembourg has like, you know, one form of free transport, I guess it's all free, right? I mean, there you go. See how that works. When you get the tickets stacked up, be like, you know, this is free in Luxembourg. So I thought that meant it was free everywhere. Like, that works, right? PSA, driving in France, you likely won't even see police. So you won't worry too much about speed. You're going to the flow of traffic. That ticket's come in the mail months later. Oh, man, that would suck. So can't mess around in Italy. Don't mess with them. Don't mess around in France either. Let's see how this is. How much are these bad boys? 45 euros? Okay, that's not too bad. And then it looks like, I don't know French, but I know enough to know that this is saying like after 76 hours, it's this much. And then after however long, look at the date is written in a correct way as well. Americans sort of confuse Americans so much. 180 euros. So it does go up after a while. That's what I think they were referring to about the Italy tickets as well. I don't know how many he got. Looks like he got 3, right? They actually do say in the description that they received 3 tickets and they were all for speeding. See, that's shocking to me. Like, you would have to really commit to speeding in such a tight area. Like, if you're in any city, to me, European cities, right, they're just so different. They're a lot tighter and narrow roads, and they're, you know, they could be crowded. You got to be committed, man, to speeding. But I guess it can happen to anyone. He said they're going for 7 to 10 kilometers per hour over the speed limit. It's all by radar and cameras. We didn't see one police car. Yeah, I mean, that's how it works over there. There are plenty of cities in certain places that do the speed cameras and all that here in the U.S. as well. It's not terribly, I wouldn't say common, but it's not uncommon. It's right in the middle. There are suburbs around Chicago that use it, and then there's suburbs near me that don't use it at all. So it's kind of a free-for-all. It just depends on where you're at. But you should just assume most places, if you're traveling outside the U.S., you should assume to be safe and that, you know, you don't have to look for a cop taking radar. If you're speeding somewhere, they're going to find out, so just don't do it.
Now, I get a fat stack of tickets in the
Whoa.
mail from when I rented a car in Italy.
Yes, a introduction to what is known as the Italian ZTL, or the Zona Traffico Limitato. If you're planning on renting a car in Italy, and as someone who has been living here for 8 years, you need to know what these are, because there are, in almost every single city, town, village in Italy, an area of the city in which cars cannot enter during certain hours of the day or at any time at all. So
Wow.
you need to know what these signs look like and how to decode them. I'm going to put one on screen. I do suggest looking it up before you plan on renting a car in
Yeah, see, this is not really a thing most of the time, unless maybe a couple cities have something like this in the U.S., but maybe not. Like, this is not terribly common here. To be honest, you know, that's close enough. Like, if people can't realize that says limited traffic zone, I mean, look at zona tráfico limitado. Like, that's close. Like, come on. If you can't put two and two together, in my opinion, then, wow, like, yeah. You got a lot of issues traveling. Yeah, red circle means no cars allowed. Time of day when ZTL is active, in this case, from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. Okay. This would throw people off, too. Now, luckily, I use, you know, the correct kind of clock. If I can get it working here. 2142, you could see that. So I use a 24-hour clock, but it seems like 98% of Americans don't. So they wouldn't have any idea what 8 o'clock means, aka 20 o'clock. Unfortunately, so they see that they're lost at this point. I feel like that's what this comes down to. There's a language barrier, a clock barrier, and for some reason, red circle isn't obvious enough that means don't go there. And then we have people challenging this, saying that it is impossible to learn all traffic signs in another country. And there is the problem. No doubt, maybe you can think it's hard. Maybe you can think it's a lot of research, but shouldn't it be doing research when you travel across the world, right? I mean, I don't know. I felt like that's common sense, right? Shouldn't you do a little bit of research? Shouldn't you look a little bit about the culture, about the laws, about the driving? You know, I don't know. Just brush up a little bit on it, you know, the language even. Yeah, no one's expecting you to come in and be a genius and, you know, live like a local. Of course not. But just take a little bit of precautions, right? Come on now. I feel like taking a gander at some signs, some laws, try and find as much as you can. I feel like it couldn't hurt. It's probably a good thing. Thinking it's impossible to learn how to, you know, adapt to anything in another country, I feel like that's just the wrong attitude, right? That's not going to get you far.
Apparently went 1 kilometer per hour over the speed limit in Florence 10 months ago, and I just got the ticket in the mail. My name is Terry, and I do travel content, and if you already follow me, you know that I love to rent cars in other countries, especially when I'm traveling in Europe. One of the challenges with that is that sometimes you get an infraction. You probably have a lot of questions. This was 10 months ago. What happens is when you rent a car, they obviously have to reach out to the owner of the vehicle, which is the rental company, and then they have to track down who is renting it during that time. This is not the first time that I've gotten a ticket months and months and months later. That happened to me when I went into a ZTL in Bologna as well. I know I've seen videos of people saying do not pay these, but I'm a rule follower and I'm not about to risk not paying it. So it says that if I pay within 5 days from the notification, which there is not a date on the envelope or the document, one's in Italian, one's in English,
there should be a
about
date
when this was sent or when it was given to me, unless I just don't see it. So I already went online to the website, and it does show 3 options. Within 5 days, it's €45.30. Between the 6th day and the 60th day, a €57.90 fine. In case of non-payment, the increased amount to pay is the following: €102.40. Now, here's what I don't understand. What if you just never pay it? At this point, I'm planning to go on right now and pay the $45.30. I'm going to use my credit card so I get the miles. And hopefully this taught you a lesson. Don't speed in Europe. Don't even go 1 mile per hour over, 1 kilometer per hour over. And I will recommend using Waze, because Waze shows you every time there is a speed camera, so you can slow it down. But I think I probably thought there was a 1 kilometer per hour grace window, but apparently not. I hope I saved one of you from this problem, but we're just going to pay it and move on, and we'll see if I get any other ones.
Okay, some things to kind of break down there. That's unfortunate again. Now, on the surface, 1 kilometer per hour over. That sounds bogus, right? If it's true, then that's bogus on where? Florence, she said, or let's just say Italy, right? That's bogus. Like, that is insane. That is literally, you can't physically sometimes maintain the exact speed limit just due to so many different scenarios, right? I'm not even going to go through them. Like, we all know logic here. There is times where your speed's going to vary just a little bit, right? Beyond your control, basically. So that's pretty bogus. But I will say, I don't know, again, if she exactly is aware of the ticket, you know, because a lot of people are having trouble reading it and stuff. So maybe it was for something else. Maybe she thinks it's for one over and really it was for, you know, more than that. Also, I do not condone, shredding a ticket up and throwing it away and not paying it. I would, I'm not advertising that. I'm not telling anyone they should do that. But to play devil's advocate here, just for the sake of the video, for educational purposes, what actually happens if she doesn't pay it, right? She's across the world. She's back in the U.S. This is not from, a city in the U.S. Is not from the U.S. government. It's from the Italian government or whatever city government sent it to her from Italy. What really can they do? And I'm sure they might be able to do something, or maybe not, right? So if anyone feels comfortable answering that, what if she doesn't pay? What could happen? Just for educational sake. But it sounds like she's going to pay it, and bite the bullet. It is what it is, right? Let's go to the comments. How in the world am I supposed to keep within? Yeah. So they're right. I totally agree with that. That's why I'm hoping she's wrong. If she is right, that it was only for 1 kilometer per hour over, I think that is definitely bogus, and I can't get on board with that. That is insane. You were actually fined for going 5 kilometers over, not 1 kilometer over. Okay. Here in Italy, you have a 4 kilometer grace, meaning if you surpass the limit by max 4 kilometers, you won't be fined. See, that's cool to hear. I'm hoping they're right. I hope that's the correct take. Maybe she interpreted it wrong, which is, very possible. You should have a grace period. And I think most governments, I would hope, but most people are logical and realize that, yes, you have to have a little bit of a grace period because things can happen that affect your car's speed. Most speedometers aren't even accurate to the exact speed anyway. There's usually, here in our units, right, in miles per hour, most speedometers are off by 2 to 3 miles per hour. That's like perfectly normal. So they have this little debate here. I don't know who you want to believe here. I don't know if it was for 1 or not. I have no idea. But either way, that's pretty crazy.
That's how we got fined in Paris by the train people, and it literally ruined our trip. I am posting this video to raise awareness. One of my biggest dreams was to go to Paris, and it just wasn't what I expected. It's a beautiful city. I know they have a gorgeous country, but my experience wasn't the greatest. We went to the ticket booth and asked for a 5-day train pass, unlimited train pass for Paris. And this is what we were giving. Navigo pass. Mind you, we didn't get it from the machine, we got it from the booth, so a real person sold this to us. She didn't say anything else, just gave us a card. My husband and I have lived in many different countries, and for example, in Hong Kong, we both lived there, you only carry the plastic part of the card. This Navigo comes with 2 parts. One is plastic, one is cardboard. So I was carrying both parts, but my husband was only carrying the plastic part. This what actually works and lets you into the train system. Yes, we could have done more research about it, but honestly, train system is not supposed to be complicated or have all these crazy rules, so we didn't. Just it.
Okay, so before let's hear her out. Let's see how this goes. But she has travel experience in other countries. That's good. But the not so good so far is we could have done some more research, but we didn't. That might be a problem. Why would you not just do research? Like, do you not have time? You have time to travel, but you don't have time to research for travel?
The person who sold us the pass gave us all the appropriate information we needed to know. And the train people were stopping other people to check if they had passes. And there were a lot of people going through and ignoring them. We wanted to be like good citizens in Paris, and we got in line to be checked. Then my husband got fined because he didn't have this part of the pass. We told the guy we were tourists, that we had just arrived to Paris, we had just purchased the pass. We talked to an actual person. She didn't tell us that we needed to carry that cardboard part. He did not care. He just wanted our money. The pass, because it only was for 5 days, was actually really cheap, but the fine was 70 euros. I asked the guy, hey, can we go to the hotel and get the cardboard part of it because our hotel is a minute away? But he still said no, and he still wanted our money. The French police were walking by, so I approached them, speaking in Spanish, of course, because they like you so much better when you speak in Spanish over there. Or at least that's in my opinion. I explained to him the situation. He was actually really sweet and he felt for us because, again, tourists. And he actually tried to help. He was such a sweetheart. Nice. He went, talked to the train people, explained the situation, even told them that we could go get the cardboard pass from our hotel, which was literally a minute away. And the train people still wanted our money, even though the French police were trying to help us. So I don't know, you tell me, but to me, this sounds like another scam. Maybe that's how they do things. Either way, at least I was happy that the French police were trying to help us and they agreed that that was kind of like lame for them to do to us as tourists. And we had just arrived to Paris, so that made it worse. So yeah, maybe we should have done a little more research. But like I said, the train system is not supposed to be that complicated. We have traveled.
It doesn't sound complicated, actually. You're just supposed to have both cards. Look, it sucks. She can think it sucks. It does suck. That's fair. But to call it a scam, now, again, we don't always know the whole context. We're getting one-sided of stories. Hell, I've never been to Paris, so I don't have much room to talk, right? But, to call it a scam feels like a little bit of a stretch, right? That feels like actually a big stretch. You could think it sucks all day. That's fine. But, the rules are rules. They got to, stick to rules because if, too many people get let off the hook, it's going to become a trend and then all hell breaks loose, right? So you gotta pay the fine. I mean, making this big of a deal over $70 or 70 euros, whatever she said. I don't remember if she actually said it was $70 equivalent or if it was 70 euros. Let's say it was 70 euros. I mean, yeah, that sucks, but I feel like you can just, you gotta buck up and you gotta pay it and then learn your lesson, right? Do more research. You admitted you didn't do a lot of research, and maybe you're admitting that because you're subconsciously thinking that would have maybe helped, right? It would have. You know what I'm saying? Like, trying to be reasonable here, but we'll see. I mean, let's go to the comments. Not a scam. They were very strict, yes. And they were. Could they have been nicer? Of course, right? But will that bite them in the rear? If they're nice to you and they're nice to other people, then it's going to be too many people are going to be entitled. It's going to be expected that you don't have to follow the rules, and then that's it, right? It's going to have a lot of bad side effects. It is what it is. It's not a scam. They were strict, but it's not a scam. Entitlement is so ridiculous. You break the rules, you pay the consequences. When you travel somewhere foreign, it's your duty to research and follow the rules, not a scam. And look, that could sound harsh to some people, but it's the truth, right? I mean, this is overall the correct assessment here. It is what it is. You got to do research. You got to try. They gave you 2 cards. One of you only took one, and then that was an issue, right? I don't know. It was preventable. At the end of the day, it was preventable. I'm going to cut it there. There is actually more of these, but I don't want this to be too long, so maybe we'll do more. If you guys really like this, we could do more when it comes to tourists learning some lessons, finding out the hard way that you got to, just a reminder to do some research. Look, traveling is a beautiful thing, and traveling is also a little bit of an art form. I mean, it's hard, right? It's fun. Sometimes it can feel easy. Sometimes it can feel hard. It costs a lot. It costs a lot of time. It costs a lot of research. That's what it is, right? When you're traveling to a different country, I think it should be, hopefully always a great thing. It'll teach you a lot. It should be applauded when you take the time and the kind of the leap to leave the comfort of your home and travel, especially as Americans, right? That's just rare for Americans to go so far away. Unfortunately, it is rare here. And yeah, it's a whole world out there. So it is, maybe a little bit of it intimidating, but, at the end of the day, you got to remember that everywhere's different. When you go out there, you're in a new place. There's new rules, there's new customs, there's new everything. And you got to remember that you're a visitor. And you got to try your best to respect that in every, facet of necessary. I hope you enjoyed this and found it fun. I certainly did. Thank you for being here. My name is Ian. You're watching IWrocker. Until next time, I'll catch you later.